Hello, I'm Shane Olver. I'm here today to talk about our groundwork and how the groundwork has a significance on our horse for our riding as well. Everything about groundwork is a dance. We have to treat our horse like we're doing a dance. We're teaching them how to move their feet. We're also putting the control of our horse's feet into our hands. It's necessary to understand about head position and energy flow as well. So just like a dance, we need centeredness, balance, head position, and understand how our energy flow, and having rhythm together as a dance partner. Our horse needs to know all these things. Just like we can't get up and know how to dance just by watching it, we have to be taught step by step. So I'll be teaching our horse step by step how to get the head position. Head position is so important. If we have the wrong head position, we lose our centeredness and our balance, which has an effect on our energy flow. So what we're after is our head position where the pole is never lower or higher than the wither. Now, once we have that, the energy can flow forward. The moment the nose goes up, we also then have the energy go up and backwards. So that's a common problem with everything we're trying to achieve. We also have to teach our horse where to place their feet. So we're going to also teach our horse to work through the shoulders, because that's where we have our steering, not through the face. Now I'm going to put it all in action anyway, and as we're going I can give you more detail and explain to you exactly what we're talking about. Rebel's my horse, so he actually knows all this stuff. So what we'll do is we'll show you on Rebel, and then at a later date we'll teach you with a horse that's just learning or hasn't done it before. Also, our groundwork is what I'll do exactly for getting a horse on a float or leading or whatever. So it's the beginning of our method, so we need these steps in place for all future things that we ask of our horse. So what I'm going to do is just face up with Rebel here and have him face me up. Now what I want is, all I want of Rebel is to walk around me in a circle. I want flex, I want his head down, and also what I want from this position here is that he doesn't run me over, that he steps around me. So really I want his energy to go out that way like a side pass, but I want his head down, I want him flexed on me. So once I put my hand like this and I suggest a pathway for him, I'm going to kiss him up. And then what I want from him is this flex around me. So tapping the rope there is on the go button. I'm asking him to get his head nice for me like that, because when his head's there, the energy goes forward. So what I'm going to do, what we call, is our hippie, and I'm going to point to that hip. All right, and that makes him straighten up and face me like that. So I'm telling him right now that everything has been successful, everything's been great. And he's only put out the energy that I've asked of him. I don't need him to be going flat out. What I really want is self-elevation, head coming up, and then the energy can flow. Our energy comes from the hindquarter here and flows out to the nose. And when the horse is in that head position, the energy goes forward. Okay, we're going to build the go button here by looking at it and by tapping it. And another one on the other side. We're also going to teach our horse that we steer through the shoulders, so we'll focus on that shoulder. What I need most from him is head position. Head position determines energy flow, where that energy goes. So if that nose was to come up, that's where the energy is going up and backwards. He's not going forwards. That's why it's all necessary as part of float loading, because that's what happens. They throw their head up and run backwards. Okay, the saying is, if I got control of his nose, then I've got control of the horse, all right? So what I want him to do is to work it out. I'm going to just stand in his way. I want my horse, I'm going to tell him to go forward and around me in a nice bent, flexed head position, and I want that shoulder just off me. And I just don't want him to go flat out or anything, so I'm going to kiss, because that means move. Then I want my horse to work out exactly what am I asking. I want him to work it out for himself. Okay, come on, Reb, come on, come on. So I just want him up a little bit of energy there. So when I'm tapping him, I say, can I have some more energy, please? I want him elevated. So what we're doing through the process, we've taught him that through head position he can go forward. But what I'm also being now is what we would say is a weightlift coach. Okay. The reason why I do this hippie and I point to his hip and gets him over, I ask for that head down. The reason why I call us a weightlift coach as well as a dance teacher, is that I need these muscles here to be trained to hold this huge heavy weight. All right, so what we have to get to is this top line muscle, the long muscle, and this trapezium muscle in here. So by collecting him up and letting him go is like picking up the weight, letting it go, picking up the weight, letting him go. because this is our warm-up. Every sports athlete needs to have their warm-up, get their muscles right. So I'll ask him again. Now you'll see that the muscles will elevate as he comes around. So that's what we're saying. We're being this weightlift coach, we're training these muscles here to hold that heavy weight there, but I want my horse to hold his weight there by himself. I don't want to be holding it up for him. I want self-elevation. So what I'm going to do is what we call our hippies, and all I'm going to do is stand my ground and point to the hip and send him over. Now for the backup, I also want collection, and I'm going to look at his shoulder here. So what's happened there, and I just do another hippie, and his head's too, and I don't want that, he's just heading off in a direction, I want him straighter. So I do that hippie. Now the hippie sets him up for that backup. I want him to pick up his own head. Now, through collection, I want my horse to back up through the hindquarters, not through the front. Okay, because once my horse is working in collection, working off the hindquarters, I can then send him forward like that. Okay, now the hippie now sets him up for that backup. So I want him to listen. He's tilted his head over, so that sent the energy wrong. Okay, get that hip over. So I want that backing up through the hindquarters. So I need collection for that. Collection is everything in training our muscles. All right, so what we get through collection is I can start getting to these muscles all down through here. Once he collects up, these muscles start to build up, and we also start getting impulsion muscles here working. He gets his hocks under, it lightens up the front, and then we can start moving the shoulders around better. Okay, so I tap him up, he's been a bit slack. So just bring some energy up, and I don't want him leaning his head over like that. I want him to go forward, he's not going forward enough, so I'm just going to push out that hind foot. Push it out, ask him forward, forward, that's better, like that. Okay, all right. So I also want to teach my horse that I want the energy to go through the shoulders. Okay, so that's side passing, okay? Everything we do with the horse is through the shoulders in regards to steering. So what I want my horse to do is to lift and elevate and send that energy over. Go forward. Through the head position I can do anything. Okay, he's a bit tilting over there. Now I'm doing this in a halter, but in a bridle I get a better result. I can shape him better. And ask him forward. Then I can ask him to back up, and this is our dance. We say go forward please with your head down. Go forward. Okay, we're going to ask to do our hippie. Going to ask him to back up. Going to ask him forward. Going to ask him to side pass. Okay, go forward more. Good boy, go forward. Okay. Now, I just explained to you about what our hippie is. Our hippie is one of our most important tools in this early stage. And this is the beginning of the training method. Every horse we start off here. So all we are is a coach. This is my horse. I'm teaching him his exercises to train all the muscles to help him be successful. We have to let our horse feel they're successful, and we have to set them up for success. The way to do that, like with any athlete, is to train the muscles properly and prepare his state of mind. What I want for my horse is him to work out all for himself. I want him to decide that that's what he needs to do to be successful, and through that his energy is more efficient and the tasks we ask of him are easier to perform. So one of our most powerful tools is our hippies here, all right? Now I want everyone to see that the hippie is like a multi-purpose knife. It has a great deal of tools that we need for all the aspects we're going to ask of our horse. Now this method is about connecting the reins to their feet so that we can control the horse's feet with our hands. That is the power of the method. The fact that we can control their feet with our hands, okay? So through the hippies, what I can do is control the front feet, all right, through the hindquarters. Now this rein here on this side is connected to this offside hindquarter foot. So it's a diagonal like that, okay? So the other rein is connected to the other diagonal foot, this one here. So through this foot here, I control that inside, the outside leg there on the front, and through the other rein, through this outside hindquarter foot, I control this inside leg. Now when a horse hasn't got shoulder control, which is virtually side passing or being able to get the energy to run out through the shoulders, I can start to control the horse and set him up for success through our hippies and the hindquarters. All right, the reason is that people want to call that disengagement, but there's actually quite a number of tools we use through our hippies that always save our lives. It stops rearing and bucking, set up for teaching our horse how to side pass. We can slow our horse down from a canter, trot, walk through doing hippies, and we just continuously use our hippies right through to the elite level, no matter what discipline or sport. So what a real hippie is, what I want is this hindquarter to step across like that. That is our hippie. It's our major safety feature for saving our lives.